What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of y'all who will, I appreciate it. Those who say, Dawson, you done bless me, my brother. I'm finna turn around and bless you. Here you go. Thank you. Everything goes back into the channel. I appreciate it. Also, check out my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speak TV. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are at 80,000 subscribers on DawsonDenise TV. I appreciate it because I remember when we had 60 subscribers, then we turned around and we moved up to 1,000, and then we were at 6,000 for a long time. And once I started just speaking truth and changed my mind and stopped chasing fame, y'all came, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now let's get into this topic. 3 of my Facebook friends sent me this message. First, Chandler sent it to me, then CC and Francine sent it to me, basically prompting me to do the story. So I looked into it and I was reading and I was like, okay, when I get some time, I'll do the story. And the story is Kelly Stough, a 36-year-old transgender woman from Detroit who was murdered on Friday in the city's Palmer Park neighborhood. On Monday, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office charged Albert Weathers, a 46-year-old pastor, in her murder. After police investigation, prosecutors arraigned Weathers on charges of open murder and use of firearm in commission of a felony. Weathers is due back in court in late December. His bond has been set at $1 million. Now, I'm going to let you all watch this news clip, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary. And if you know me and if you're new to my show, I don't hold my tongue. I will say what I want to say, and if it offends you, you know what to do.
Story hate crime questions.
A pastor now charged in the murder of a transgender woman. Investigators not yet revealing the true motive behind the killing.
The body of 36-year-old Kelly Stough was found early Friday morning in the area of East McNichols and Brush.
Tonight, 46-year-old Albert Weathers is charged with her murder. Weathers is from Sterling Heights, works for the Great Lakes Water Authority, and investigators confirm he is a pastor at a church in Detroit.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig is live in Detroit, where she spoke with the victim's mother, Kim.
Yes, Heather. Jessica Williams-Stowe says her daughter Kelly had been bullied growing up, but she still held her head high and told younger people in the LGBTQ community to do the same.
She was loved. She has aunts, her grandmother. She has a lot of people who love her. She was loved, and you know, people cared. So you know, she just wasn't nobody.
The mother of Kelly Stough was devastated, trying to come to grips with her murder. Kelly was shot to death just before 6 o'clock Friday morning, and investigators say the person who killed the transgender woman is 46-year-old Albert Weathers, a local pastor.
If you don't hear me preaching no more.
Pastor Weathers is now charged with open murder and the use of a firearm and the commission of a felony. At his home in Sterling Heights, a woman who answered the door would only say they have no comment. Kelly Stough was shot to death in the area of East McNichols and Brush in Detroit, and a source close to the investigation says there was a witness and that Albert Weathers only called police an hour after the shooting and after he clocked into work at the Great Lakes Water Authority. Questions that are expected to be answered at the preliminary examination include the motive for allegedly murdering Kelly, who aspired to be a fashion designer and buyer.
I raised her to respect people, to love people, just as she was brought up in the church. Everybody don't judge. Everybody's different. And it's okay.
The case is being handled by a special prosecutor with the Fair Michigan Justice Project, which assists police and prosecutors in solving serious crimes against lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgender persons. Jaleesa Abad is with Fair Michigan, and like Kelly Stough was, she's an advocate for those in the LGBTQ community, especially trans women of color.
So though work has to be done, we are doing the work, and I just want to emphasize to my community that to continue to do this work, I need them to continue to come forward and report these crimes.
Even with her being bullied as a kid and with that and everything else, you know, she still wasn't bitter.
And Albert Weathers no longer works for the Great Lakes Water Authority, and a source says when he called police an hour later from work, he claimed that he had been robbed and said he shot someone. His bond has been set at $1 million. Reporting live in Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Kimberly Craig. I'll take it over from here. All right, y'all. Now let's go in. Now, prosecutors say that they have and will present enough evidence in court to show that Kelly Stough's gender identity was a motivating factor in her murder. And basically, they've charged this pastor with a hate crime. And I was sitting here and I was wondering, well, how can they say that? Because the pastor said that, he was robbed and that somebody robbed him and all this kind of stuff like that. And I was like, let me look and see this neighborhood. And when I was looking at the Palmer Park neighborhood, and if you are from Detroit or been through Detroit, or if you want to research it yourself, I definitely suggest you all do that. Never take our words for it here on YouTube. Do your own research. Come on, y'all. Do your own stuff. The Palmer Park neighborhood, from what I researched, is an area where a lot of transgender people, transgender women, a lot of them prostitute out there, and there are a lot of Johns. They know where to go when they want to pick up transgender women prostitutes. And so I was thinking to myself, why was the pastor in that area? Why was the pastor in that area? And did he get out his car to get robbed? Did Kelly come to his, how did it happen? And when I read that that's a popular area for prostitution for people who want to pick up transgender women prostitutes, I was like, you know what? Y'all play too much. And there were tons of people in the comment sections on different videos I watched and on different vlogs and articles I read. And there was people who were saying that this pastor did not want his little secret to get out about his relationship with Kelly Stough. And there were people who said that the pastor, did not want his wife to find out. And the best way for him to keep his little secret silent was to murder the transgender woman. Now, I know my subscribers and I know the people who view my stuff. And I know we have some people on here who, they trick those men. They do this. And I'm not saying that they don't. There may be some people out there who are tricking men, and some may who be tricking women. But I honestly do not think that all transgender people are tricking people. Now, whenever I do a video like this, and I told y'all I didn't want to touch this topic anymore, but I was going to touch this because it involved a pastor. And I say I don't believe that these transgender women are tricking these men. People get upset with me and say, oh, Dawson, they lying about who they are. It's rape because the men didn't know. And then I started thinking about the recent things that have come out in the media with Dwight Howard, with the cross-dresser, with Young Buck, the rapper, G-Unit, with Bobby Valentino. And how these non-gender conforming individuals, think I don't know the words, how these people were able to screenshot stuff, record their voice, put them on video camera to prove to you all that they weren't lying. Because who would believe that Young Buck would do something like that? Who would believe that Dwight Howard would be interested in that? Who would believe that Bobby V, I ain't Bobby V, but who would believe that? And I had to really sit and analyze before I did this topic. And I want y'all to put y'all comments, tell me the truth. I don't care what it is. Tell me the truth. Do you think that these men are being tricked? Was the pastor tricked by Kelly Stough? Did they have a side relationship or an agreement that the pastor thought was jeopardizing his church or his relationship with his wife? Or did the pastor just want to silence his little secret? Or in the case of Kelly was let me tell you, Kelly Stough, the transgender who passed away, was a big, Kelly Stough original name was Tristan. Tristan, when he was a boy and younger, Tristan had a football scholarship to a college in South Dakota, according to his mom. He came home from South Dakota and said that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to go more into fashion and more into designing and stuff like that. And that's when he started his transition and stuff like that. But before Kelly Stough went fully, had the operation, I don't know if they had an operation or whatnot, Kelly Stough played football and was on a football scholarship in college. So I mean, that looking at these stories, you look at the complexity of people's lives. You can't just put people in a box. Because who would think you would be on a football scholarship to South Dakota, then transition out to being a transgender woman? I don't know. But I want y'all to answer that. Do y'all think the pastor was tricked? Was the pastor robbed? Do you think that he and Kelly Stough had a side relationship? Or do you think that the pastor just wanted to save face for the church and for his wife? So he was like, look, I can't mess up my hustle. I can't mess up my money. I'm 46 years old, which is not old. It's not old. But the pastor don't look, damn, I don't talk about nobody's age, but he is a hard 46-year-old. I'm serious. Oh my God, you're a hard 46-year-old. But look here, y'all put that in the comments. And let me say this. In the past, I have been accused of being a male basher on my show, which is really funny to me because I just speak truth where I see it. And a lot of people say, Dawson, well, these women do wrong too. And I know that. And I pointed out, hey, if it's a story, I'm just going to jump on that story. But when it comes to pastors and many times to people in the church, I'm looking at this pastor's wife. Because as a social worker, I tell y'all, a lot of times on my caseload, on many people's caseload, the people who come through our agency, the people who suffer the most are women and children. And yes, men suffer too. But most of the time, it's the women who are left there with those sexually transmitted diseases. Oh, she an angry woman. She angry because some dude just gave her genital warts. He just gave her herpes. She put her love and affection in him. She gonna be committed to him, but he went out and brought about HIV. No wonder she mean as hell. And sometimes I've had to tell my clients because I've seen that hostility and that anger. Wait a minute. Come on now, calm down. I'm here to work with you to help you out your circumstances. I didn't give you herpes. I didn't give you no damn STD. You got to redirect your anger to the man who did that. To the one you trusted. You believed everything he said to you, but you didn't look at his actions. You heard what he said, but you didn't look at his actions. That's what I got to talk about. These pastors' wives, and probably his wife, who will cover him in this mess, and all these other women in the church who, you got to stand by your husband. And it's because what Eve did in the garden. You remember what Eve did in the garden. So these men, they going to struggle. He may take you through. He may have children. He may give you an STD. Well, when that nigga get home, you be waiting outside in your garden with a bat and knock him down. And when the pastor come and say, yeah, he gave me an STD, so I laid him down in the garden. You told me I had to take it back to the garden like Eve. Y'all better stop letting these people in the church mess y'all up. You sitting here with an STD because you trying to cover your husband, but your husband don't cover his dick when he cheating on you. Oh, speak, Dawson, come through. I'm already here. I said you trying to cover him, but he won't cover his penis when he's cheating on you. Don't even think that much of you. Done brought you back home all these STDs from picking up transgender prostitute, biological female prostitutes, male prostitutes, going to strip clubs, going anywhere, cheating with different random people, sticking his thing in a hole wherever he can. And yes, women have done it too. And people will sit and clap and dance and run around acting like everything is good. But a scandal now, because the pastor is connected to a transgender woman that he murdered. And everything gonna come out in court. Families gonna be embarrassed. Church gonna be embarrassed. People who had him in their church, who can't, they can't discern anything. Oh no, they could discern everything else. Oh, the Lord spoke to me on Tuesday night. Why the Lord didn't tell you that the pastor and the transgender were gonna have an interaction that was gonna lead in her death? Huh? I'm telling y'all, man, some of y'all women in these churches, I feel for y'all. Because like I said, y'all can't tell the people in the church nothing. But when you come through with your problems and your domestic violence issues and your STDs and, this is going on with my body, or this is going on with me, or I'm feeling this, you going to tell the people in those non-for-profit organizations, you going to tell your nurse or your doctor, you got to be honest with them so they can help you. And because this is something we do when we're called in this field, we could look over the fact that you are elder this and bishop this and an evangelist. Yeah, they might talk about you once you leave, but when you there, we're going to handle you professionally. But people are tired of the hypocrisy. You ain't cheated on your husband no time in your life. You weren't a whore when you were single, and now you got married to get an STD. You got married you thought getting married would exempt you from all of that. But now here you are married with herpes, with your genital warts. That ain't the will of God for you. I don't care what nobody say. Stop being so desperate and letting these people make y'all so desperate in these churches to get married. To some of these men, and I've said it before on many videos, some of them don't even want to be married to women. They doing it to please y'all. They doing it not to be ostracized, and some of the women doing it too. Take care of yourself and each other. Go off in the comments. This your boy Dawson. Peace.